Okay, so this is the second week of the advanced class. Welcome, everyone. Today we're going over the basics of DaVinci Resolve, mainly the interface, the edit page, the pages that you see down here. Um, Let me see the color correction as well. So you'd be able to learn how to color correct and put certain cinematic lenses over your clips, your animations, or your photos. Anything in the edit timeline you can color correct, which is really great because it brings different feels. If you're creating like a cinematic drama, there's filters that work best with that. If you're creating um, happy, bright, shiny cinematic feature, there's the bright, shiny filters. And if you're creating a horror movie or a horror film, there's filters and things for that too. So,
Shalom.
shalom, brother. So, I'll start with the edit page. I have a project already pulled up. This is from the Ancestral Quest, the album by Yoshua Music and Eliezer Noir that was released, let's say, about a month ago, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll take you guys through kind of step by step on how I put this together and what you guys can do with yours. And all of these images in the edit tab are animated. And we'll go over that not tomorrow, next week and on the fourth week as well. So you guys will learn what animation software that we use, and then you'll be able to practice and do things for yourself with that specific software. So let me share my screen. My screen is not sharing yet. Share sound. Okay. Mm, okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so it starts off with a song, if you, as you can see in the audio one tab here, and then it only has one video slot here for the media. I did, I think by accident let's say I dragged this up here. It created a video to tab two. And if I drag it up one more, it'll automatically create a video three. And then if I drag it up again, it'll create a video four and so on. And I think it's pretty much endless. I don't think they have limitations regarding, how many video tabs you can have in one project. So if you wanted to overlap something, let's say you wanted to kind of blend these two together, what you would do is the video two tab here would be useful. You can drag this up here and have this little space here to sort of blend this together. But it would probably just be better if you did a video transition from this clip and the second clip. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me take you through the different effects that you can use, the video transitions. So, let's see. Okay. So in order to add and access the features, you have to have the toolbox open. And it's all the way in the left corner here. And they have a whole bunch of different effects that you can use. I'm on filters right now. What we would need to go to is the effects tab right here. And as you can see, there's a lot of them that you can use here. So let's start by just going over a few of them. If you hover over these effects here, it'll automatically appear in your window, your timeline window. So if you hover over this, this is called binoculars. Um, this is CCTV. here, colored border, and under colored border, when you drag it over the image, like so, it pops up here in the effects tab on the right, upper right hand corner. And what you can do if you don't want a white frame going around the photo or the clip, you simply click up here and you can pick your color. And if you don't want any of these colors, what you can do is go to this color wheel. And let's say we wanted let's say a blue, but you don't want like a solid dark blue. Let's say you wanted a baby blue color. You would kind of drag this up since this is a whole color spectrum here. Click OK. And there you would have your photo. And then it would play throughout the whole clip. And then if we wanted to remove this, all you would have to do is go back to the effects tab under inspector. This is the inspector tab. And then you would click the trash can right here or delete filter. And then it would disappear. So if you're not satisfied with something, it's very simple to just kind of take that effect or transition off of the clip that you're working with. So let's go to a drone overlay. It's like a military sort of thing where you can, let's see if you can change this color. Yes, you can also change the color of the photo itself. You want a green fire. And then, of course, you could either disable the drone overlay so it no longer appears, or delete it completely. And let's see. So you can play around with all of these different effects here. There's a lot of them. There we go. Okay. So that is just the just a brief overview of the effects tab. And then if we go to video transitions at the top and scroll all the way to the top, under these dissolve transitions, these are the ones that are most popular with film producers and people that create content because they're seamless. They're very simple, yet very beautiful too, depending on what your composition is. So I will show you the going to the second. If I wanted to add a smooth transition between these two right here, what I would do is I would go over to the video transitions tab here and choose which one I think would fit best or which one I like the most. And if you scroll, okay, so yes, make sure that this here, if you want to preview the transition, make sure this is right in the middle of these two highlighted clips if you wanted to preview it. So, and then you can drag it and it'll show you how it will transition into the next one. This is blur, cross dissolve, dip to color, which goes completely black and then gets brighter again to the next image. The non-additive is rather bright. So if we're working with these types of colors like deep reds, bright yellows, and bright oranges, it's going to seem really flashy. And sometimes it's really hard on the eyes. So with non-additive dissolve, it works a lot better if you're using muted colors or dark colors for your composition. So I personally probably would not go with additive resolve because it might be hard on the eyes when it transitions. And then smooth cut is just really subtle transition. For me, I would probably go with cross dissolve since the music is really calm and it looks really good faded into the next scene. And I'll show you. So let's bring over this cross dissolve and put it right in the middle of these two clips right here. And if you click on the cross dissolve effect, you can see under the transition tab how long you want it to be up there for. So if you want the transition to be quick, what you would do is you would click on this first duration square right here, and you would slide to the left. Let's say you only wanted it to be 4.4 seconds. And it will only play for 0.4 seconds, not even one full second. If you wanted it to be longer, you would drag your cursor, click on that square, and drag it to the right. And let's put it for one whole second and see what that looks like. And I think the default, when you drag a effect or a transition over, in between both of these clips, I think the default duration they put it as is 0.8. So we'll go back to 0.8. And you do want to sync up the transitions to the song as much as possible. So, and you can just play around with it and see what looks best to you. I think 0.8 seconds is good. It kind of flows with the beat, flows with the music, and makes it look nice. And we'll try some more. I'll give you another example. So with the additive resolve or non-additive resolve, that was the one that or non-additive dissolve was the one that I was saying that was really bright. It kind of flashes really brightly depending on, the colors that are in the composition. So we'll drag this one in between these and see how it looks. Actually didn't look too bad. It's just a lot of red all at once. And if you don't want it to be really bright, what you can do is go to this tab right here, this color wheel. It's called the color correction tab. And you have a whole bunch of different film looks, lenses, color schemes, and different filters that you can put over your images and your videos to give it a different feel. So this one, it makes it extremely red and it takes away a lot of the detail. This one is, yeah, it's even worse. So what I'd probably want to do is kind of browse and see which color correction I'd like the best. The filters, there's a lot of filters, and I found that some of them they just make the picture look worse, but I get that some of them were designed specifically for a certain style. So if you put an anime up here, I'm sure that the cartoon composition would probably be complemented by the filter and not a realistic image like we have here. And then there's some that mute the colors completely, sort of like a black and white. This is extremely vivid. This is a Kodak film look. Or you can completely go manual and go down here and adjust the light and the shadow, the darkness of the picture. You can enhance the colors. So let's see if we drag this up where it goes. See, if you drag it to the pink, the flames turn pink. If you drag it towards the purple, it'll give you more of a purple hue, blue, green, yellow, and red and orange. We're just going to go in the center and hit this back button right here to go have it go back to the beginning. It's original. So that is the color correction tab. You can also, just at your own leisure, play around with it, put an image into the edit tab, drag or go make sure that the image is selected in the edit tab, and it'll pull up in here automatically. And then you can kind of play around with it because there's a lot of really cool filters that you can play around with, and a lot of the colors will be enhanced when these filters are over them. And then we have generators here. Let me see. And these you can drag into the composition individually. Let's say this one is called contours. What you can do is it will be an animated image right here. You can also put text over as well if you wanted to. And if you wanted to put text, what you would do is you would find titles. You would click the title, drag your mouse over each tab, and see, how it would look on screen. So there's a whole bunch of different ones. Let's say I wanted to put this here. I'll put this title here. And you'll have your text that will show up in the inspector tab on the right. And if you wanted to write, let's say, the ancestral quest, you can change the font. Oh, there we go. Let's see. And for some reason, it's not showing the T. There we go. You can pick any one, drag your playhead all the way to the beginning, and watch the animation come in with the text. And now we'll go to the effects tab. And you can add pretty much any effect that's over here to your composition, and kind of style it in any way you want to. Filters are good too. If you wanted to blur a certain image, let's see, go to one with more color. Okay, let's go to this one. You can blur the sides. And with this blur called a zoom blur, you can see that the lens focuses in the middle and kind of drags the blur out to the sides. This one is radial, so it'll go in like a round pattern. This is a complete lens blur where everything is kind of hard to make out. Same with that one. Directional blur. There's resolve color effects that focuses on the color in the image. So I don't really use a lot of these. I don't have very much experience using the resolve effects color effects and filters over my images. I have used contrast pop before, so let's just give that as an example. We'll drag contrast pop over this one, and you can increase the detail amount that the viewer sees in the image. Bring it back to 0. Detail size. You can increase the detail size or decrease. Bring it back to 0. Low threshold, high threshold, and then softness. And then global blend, which is the full spectrum of color that the image already has and has retained. If you wanted to decrease it, it would kind of take away the detail and more of the brightness and the vividness that already had. So I don't really play around with global blend at all. And if you did want to color correct this, we would go to the color correct tab again, make sure, it's the right image. And then you can play around with the light. Let's say you wanted a sort of a more golden light, kind of denoting that it's kind of like a sunrise or sunset. You would find the yellow hue or orange hue and even a red hue, depending on the feel that you want. And you would drag this little dot where you feel like, is best. And then that will just, if you click this little arrow here, it'll reverse everything that you've done. So I'll leave it a little bit orange, a little bit yellow. Oops. And also too, there's audio effects as well. You can increase the volume, and I've had to do this with some of the audiobooks that I've made in the past, simply because the voice, I guess, was a little bit low. So what you can do is just increase the volume to like 3, and it will play on YouTube a tiny bit louder than it normally would. Just type in 3. You might not be able to hear a difference, if I play this, but we'll see. From my end, I can hear a huge difference. I'm not sure about you guys, but yes, you can play around with the audio. So always make sure your audio 1 is highlighted orange. And then you can go to equalizer 2 and play around with these. And you know that these DaVinci Resolve displays everything that has to do with audio and wave format. And you can adjust while you're listening to the composition. You can adjust these and kind of play around and see what everything does. You can adjust the frequencies, the gain of all these things, and pick how you want the wave to be. So let's try this. So there's so much stuff that you can do with everything. So the edit tab, the audio tab, it's mainly you bringing your creation in here and playing around with it to experiment with how everything works. And that's what I wanted to emphasize is this DaVinci, it takes a little while to, master it. It'll take you a little bit. But of course, practicing, giving that 1% every day, working on your projects, your creations, it'll keep you, it'll make you be able to acclimate very easily to the software. When I first started out, it was, I think, about a half an hour every day until I got used to where everything was at. And then getting used to dragging the compositions in here and then playing around with the transitions, both the visual and audio transitions. Um, it just, I really started to love it. So if this is what you want to do, um, I do advise to just kind of play around with it every single day because you can make anything in here. You can film movies and put all of your compositions in here and create something, you know, um, picture by picture, video clip by video clip. And a lot of movies were made using DaVinci Resolve. Not sure if you saw the Ant-Man Quantumania fighting scene when Kang was, fighting all of the people on what is the world called? Does anyone know what the world is called? I can't recall it right now, but when they were fighting down there, all of the special effects and the color correcting too, so all the neon shots that they had with the weapons and all the technology, everything was put into DaVinci, color corrected, animated, and then, put out for the public. So when I saw that, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. There's endless possibilities what we can create with this thing. And I would really like to get into making movies with the nation one day. So um, does anyone have any questions for me? Okay, well, I will give you guys another example here too. Creating a titles page. So whenever you create something, let's say it's a music video or a movie, what is most commonly done at the end is a credits page or a titles page. Now what we can do here is right click in the master section. So where everything is, where all of your media is stored here for your project, you right click within that area and you'll see timelines. You'll create a new timeline and you can rename this timeline credits and create. And then we'll go to titles and you'll see there's a lot of options. What we would do here is if you wanted to create a simple credits page, you would just go to this text tab and drag it in to the video 1 tab here. And then start out with title, let's say directed by, and then we can decrease that size. Hit the tab button and type a name. So let's say directed by Most High. And then increase this size. And that's how it would appear on the screen. And then in order to create another tab, you would hit the Alt button on your keyboard, making sure that this is selected. So clicking on here, holding the Alt key down, you click on the text tab, and then you slide it over until it locks in place. And then you just created another one or a duplicate of that one. And then you can go in here and change directed by to produced by. I'll put my angel here. Go again, do the same thing. Hold down the Alt key on your keyboard. Click this clip and drag it all the way until you see that it's separate, and then it'll lock back in place. And then you can do the next tab by music, by your music. Go down to the Alt key again, duplicate this. Artistic director, and I would put my name, and then so on and so forth. And then if you wanted to preview it, well, actually, no, there is transitions that you can add, and it would be good to add them to all of these things. So with any movie, what I've seen in the credits that's most common is the dip to color dissolve that they use between each clip. So for example, find the dip to color dissolve and you drag it in the center of these, and it should transition. It will fade out and then fade back in real subtly. And you can do that for every single one of them. Let's drag this to one. You can copy. Select this little green part here, click it. It'll show up green. Paste. And you can do that with every single one of them. And you can also shorten these up too. And how you do that is you right click and then new compound clip, create, and then change clip duration. And each of these are default set at 5 seconds. You can go back and change them to 3 if you want. And also, you would have to go back over again and do the transitions as well. So before you do anything, you want to see like how long you want each clip to stay on the screen. So let's see if this works. New compound clip, create, change clip speed. Oh, never mind. Don't do that. Undo. You'll have to do them each individually. So what you can do is just drag this to make it shorter. And then go ahead and copy the transition. Paste. And then at the end, you can drag this little thing right here, which will fade the last clip out nice and slow. And then you can do the same thing for the beginning too. So it'll fade in nice. Or you can even make it longer. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Okay, let's see here. We can go back to, I'm not going to touch on the Fusion tab today simply because that's how, this is how you can animate up here. It takes a very, very long time. I'm still learning the Fusion tab, and it has a lot to do with, I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with nodes at all when you're working in video animation software, but that's exactly how this is based off of. So, media in and media out. I mean, I'm not going to go through this. I just wanted you to kind of glimpse it for a little while, just for a second. This is how the Fusion tab looks, and there's different things that you can add to your composition. Like if you wanted to add, let's say your media out is here. You can add a blur node to it and it will blur it for you. But I don't want to get into it because I'm not an expert at it yet. So we'll touch on this once I learn more about Fusion, and then I'll hold another class. But this is the cut tab. If you wanted to, let's go into the other composition first, and then we'll go to the cut tab. Yes, if you wanted to add this credits to the timeline, all you would have to do is go to the end of your composition. That. And then drag your credits to the very end of the edit tab behind the last part, the last clip of your video. So this is the last. We probably want to space it out a little bit. And then your credits will appear there. But let's go into the cut tab real quick. I don't know why this is playing here. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I have some media offline. Um, and also, this is a good thing that this came up. If you saved your content, let's say you saved a whole bunch of your pictures or your video clips in a folder and you delete them or move them from that folder to another folder or into a different location on your computer, what's going to happen is this is going to show up in the project. It has to be in the same folder that you took it from when you imported it from your computer into DaVinci Resolve. Otherwise, the media will be offline and you're going to have to go back and retrace your steps and find it and then drag it back into that original folder. So something had happened obviously here. I probably dragged or moved something or deleted something off of my computer into a different location, and now it's not able to find that media anymore. So that's what happened here. I'll go here now. So this cut tab is very good for detailed work. And what I mean by that is if you're going through and you can't find the perfect stopping point, or you need to cut like a tiny little piece of audio out, and delete that audio and then, make it flow a little bit better. Or let's say you're recording something and you take a breath and it's really loud. You can go back, find the place where you took that breath that doesn't sound right in the composition. You can cut it. Let's say I wanted to cut it here. This is where the breath is. And let's say this is where it ends. You cut this section again with this little split clip thing over here. You highlight it, or you highlight the audio, or the audio part, and then you can delete it. And then obviously you'd probably want to delete this section too above it, and then it will just, go to the place where you need it to be to come back in correctly. With music, it's probably, not common to do this because the music is continuously flowing and stuff. This is mainly for someone's speech. If they don't like how they sound here, or if they took an extra breath, or they they cleared their throat like that, you can delete that out very easily with the cut tab. And let me go back and undo everything. Undo. There we go. And now we can go back to this tab, the edit tab. And yeah, that's pretty much the beginning and the general layout of how everything is in DaVinci. Um, the main things that you'll need to pay attention to when you're dragging things in here is the proximity between every single clip, and which I showed you last week. You can see it a lot better when you enlarge the the field here. Your clips become bigger, or you can minimize them, they'll become smaller, making sure that everything is positioned correctly in your clip, in your composition. And then also play around with the toolbox, the video transitions, audio transitions, the title pages, anything that you want to add over. Let's say you wanted to add a text node over here. You can, add it right over this picture. Drag it so it appears just over that photo or clip. You can add whatever you want. No. Well, let's see. Yeah, it'll appear over that clip. It wasn't the right clip. I thought we were on a different one. And then you can drag these dimmers over here to fade it in. And yes, play around with it. What I want you guys to work on this week, while you have, some free time, depending whenever if you have time or if you don't have time, that's fine too. Focus on trying to generate a story. It could be anywhere from 10 images to 25 images. It depends on how much you want to create. Um, Drag some clips into the edit field and try to play around with the titles. Maybe do an introduction, like let's say the title page, the story is called The Wilderness. You would put the title page um, with the text saying The Wilderness, using some effects to fade it in and fade it out, any ones that you want. And then there's a story. You can add some audio to it, and then you can add a credits page. And that's what I want you guys to work on this week. Utilizing the techniques that you were shown today. Play around with the audio levels, experiment, and just be creative. It can be about anything. It doesn't need to be about the Bible. It doesn't need to be about what we're reading or studying. It can be anything that you want, a story that you made up or a song that you created, and just add some visuals to it. And we'll see what you guys created and the next class at the beginning. So is there anyone that has composition or homework that they would like to share with the class today before we go?
No, I wasn't on last week because my internet was down in the neighborhood, so
Okay.
I unable to
No.
create I at that time.
Oh, it's okay, sister. No problem.
Yeah, Sister Kill. I had mine up, but computer just went down. So give me a minute. I'll see if I could get it up again.
Absolutely, yes.
Uh, all right, I'm gonna flip the camera. Let me see if can
Okay.
you see the screen, or is the blur throwing it off?
It's a little, it's blurry.
All right, give me a second.
Okay, no problem.
Mhm. All right, that's better.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Trying to put music up on here, but I didn't have enough time
Okay.
because this week was kind of hectic. But this is what I have.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it.
Appreciate it.
Very good. Oh, this is exciting.
Good
I
job,
love it. I
Jojo.
can't wait. I can't wait until, oh man, I can't wait for the next album, the next project that we're working on. Man, I just can't wait.
Be good luck.
Mm-hmm. All right, everyone. Well, if there's no questions for me, I'll send you a reminder about the homework, kind of like an overview of everything that you can do this week and work on whenever you have time. And then I'll send you the PDF on everything that we'll go over next week as well. And we will begin towards the end of class with the beginning of the animation. So the animation software that we'll be using will showcase it next week. So,
Okay, cool.
all right. Everyone, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
All right, same to y'all.
Shalom.
Hello.
Shalom.
Um,